Okay, so we're back for episodes 19 and 20 tonight. That's right. So this will probably be the last of the Dunhallow Mystery sessions. Unfortunately, not everybody could be here, which super sucks. Both Tim, who plays Ceol Marcus Marius, our investigator, and Kent, who plays Gaunter, our Blitzballer, are both out sick. Boo. Boo. But anyhow, we're going to play regardless. There's 4 of us here as opposed to the full group of 6. I know they're going to miss tonight's session, but nonetheless, we'll continue on. So we'll just jump right into it. So last week was kind of an eventful session. What happened? Who wants to do the recap?
I vote not it, since I had to leave.
You want to go up until where
Walter had to leave.
No. I've also slept like 4 hours in the last 3 days.
Why don't you go ahead, Nick?
Where did we leave off? Oh, so last game session we left off where the Duchess
died.
The Duchess died in my arms. The Baroness died in my arms that night, and we were kind of just like sitting there and wondering what to do. So we ended up bringing her into the bedroom. In the process, Tuck and
Master Marius,
Ceol Marius, went in and took a look around and found that the place had a thin film of dust. Well, actually a thick coating of dust, even on the bedspread. The room was pretty much not lived in. So that was a little weird. Also, there was a picture on the wall with Hugo Downing, along with, in his normal clothes that he always seems to be wearing, along with a picture of a young woman in very antiquated looking clothing. So somewhat of a clue there. So at that point, we laid her on the bed, and Hugo Downing requested to be left alone for a while, and we left the room and the manor itself, and traveled down into the village. When we arrived, we took a look in the doctor's house. Wasn't there. And then we broke into the old.
We let ourselves in. We
let ourselves in, so to speak, into the hall.
No signs of forced entry.
Yeah, no signs of forced entry.
There was
we locked up when we left, right?
No one there. And at this point, we noticed out the window that there was a bonfire going off, or some great light source in the distance. So we went to investigate. And we crested a hill and noticed a large gathering of villagers chanting around a bonfire rhythmically. Seemed to be saying something. We spotted Maud Linkhouse being born from the ground. And when I say that, she came out stark naked, and it looks like there was some sort of creature off along with everyone. Half again as high as a man, with the head of a stag. It was at that moment that we were accosted by some of the old Grall's dinners, and they pretty much took everyone out, save for.
What do you mean took everyone out?
Well, when I say knocked everyone out, yeah, we weren't killed. We were all knocked out except for Ceol Marius. And at that point, that's where we pretty much ended, right?
No.
Or we went further than that.
On.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and pick it up.
All right. Mike. So that's when Dindish comes to us.
Right.
And tries to get Cole to calm down, to drink some water, and then gets mauled to death by a bear.
Yeah. Dindish was the one wearing the stag head.
Almost was wearing the goat's head.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and might I interject that Cole valiantly stalled for us.
He rolled a 0-2. He had like a 3%, a 5% chance, and he rolled a 2.
Yeah.
Essentially, everyone got kind of set up on by villagers.
Yeah.
And Cole was the only one to kind of survive the melee, the surprise.
And so...
If only somebody in your company thought that the villagers were in on it.
What? If only you were here to tell me.
I believe I had made that clear.
So what happened after that, Nick? Sorry, Mike.
So after we got them... so after the bear then dragged the body back into the middle of this tree area, everyone dispersed, essentially. They all fled.
And Cole was... What was Cole's opinion on it, though? Cole had...
Cole...
This is when he was kind of trying to reinforce the idea.
He thought the bear was protecting us.
Oh, he thought the bear might be protecting us. So, although I thought about trying to get friendly with it, or at least not like friendly, right? But,
Oh, chicka wow wow.
Yeah, right. Not that.
Hey, bear.
We do not endorse bestiality on this channel.
But yeah, so but then we were like, you know what, it would just be best to leave. So we did, and Wesley made the decision. We're going back to the manor house. We're gonna figure this out, and it's the best defensible place because there's nowhere in the village that's safe. There's nowhere in the forest that's safe. And the only potential place we could hole up would be there, but it's already super early in the morning. By the time we start tracking uphill, it's just better to make way to that camp that we found of that Gralstetter who had hunted that deer. So we decided to make camp there because it was kind of off the beaten path, and it'd be kind of a good way to lay low. And
Kind of had to sneak through the night because we were being...
Oh yes,
people were looking for us, specifically.
So we were able to escape unaccosted, hide out, and then in the morning we noticed a very curious scene of a carriage, and what looked to be the carriage that brought us here, laden with various boxes and trunks and whatnot that had the Winterborne seal on it, and a young lady that was sitting in the front seat next to Ernst, and which, thanks to Cole's spyglass glass, we were able to determine was pretty much my family that was being carted towards the manor home. In which case, Wesley's like, we're going now, and you better march. So we double timed it there, and we get there. It's eerily quiet. The cart is left unattended, and once we get into this like kill room, then almost to say that there is no escape, the drawbridge starts to rise, and I think that's kind of where we ended.
That's right. So pretty eventful 24 hours in Dunhallow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Most of the mystery has been revealed at this point, and clearly the stakes are high. You've only been on Dunhallow for a little less than 12 days.
Yeah.
The intention was not for your wife and family to arrive until much later,
Like spring, maybe.
That's right. But clearly the people of Dunhallow had a very different thing and something very different in mind for you and your family.
Right.
After being chased through after witnessing the strange ritual and Maud Linkhouse awaiting through what Cole called the transference with her burning blue eyes, to the huge bear mauling Dindish Almstead and consuming him and chasing everyone off, fleeing into the night from the forest into the Greylands as the villagers were looking for you all evening under torchlight as you narrowly escaped, and then awakening and finding this, to your family being brought to Winterborne Manor. Things have come to a head very, very quickly. With the Nopplebees. And with that, you head forth at the break of dawn toward Winterborne Manor. You stand outside the coach, and it has been... None of the trunks have been removed. Ernst has not yet removed the trappings of you and your family, but clearly these are like the things that belong to the Winterborne family. And determined and bound to find out the fate of your wife and children, you step inside the entry chamber where you moved into before, kind of with leaves and, kind of overgrown with the huge tapestries of the Agrivar family. There's a sound coming from within the walls, and that's when you realize that darkness is encompassing you all around. And suddenly, light turns to shadows, turns to pitch black dark, as you are now locked inside the estate.
Now, where would between the time I left them at Charlie's fountain, what became of me?
You would have witnessed the same events after what happened. The entirety of it.
I hid.
Yeah.
Not a bad plan.
Well,
right.
And then you had probably an "I told you so" afterwards.
I definitely had an "I told you so." You can rest assured of that. I don't have to roll dice to tell you that I had an "I told you so."
this is definitely it. This is the scariest moment I've ever had. Scarier than that time when you tried to pull the pan tin off the table and you pulled the cloth off with it and it hit you on the head and you ran through the hallway screaming like a ghost. Scarier than that.
Yeah, it was a traumatic experience.
Fumbling around, Cole finds his lamp. He lights it, kind of flicking the striker, and the lamp casts a very low amount of light. It's a little bit larger than candlelight, but it's light nonetheless. But the light seems to fight against the darkness as you can't even begin to see the inside, even the walls of this large entrance chamber. With the drawbridge closed, the sounds of the castle seem to come to life. The whistling of wind through the wall, the creaking and groaning of the wood beneath your feet, the wetness and dampness of the walls, and the dripping somewhere in the distance.
What room in the manor are we in? Are we
You're
inside the main hall?
Yes, you're just inside the main hall where the drawbridge is just now shut, and the great chains that bore it kind of clatter inside the walls. It's almost like you're inside the belly of some great living thing.
So what do you think that house is that controls the gate?
I don't believe it's anywhere we can get to.
We have more pressing matters to attend to.
Indeed. I think it's time that we see them put their cards on the table fully. Where it seems like whatever plan or trap they had wished to spring, they have sprung.
Speaking of that, you think maybe we should all go in, or maybe some of us should hang back a bit?
But I trust you to do whatever you think is best. If you want to hang back, I would not count it against you.
It's not separating this place.
No, I don't mean separation. I mean when he goes in there, they're going to have us dead to rights, as I did that for her before. And, maybe they don't mean anything bad, but I don't think they'd put up the drawbridge if they meant us well. And so instead of us all sick of us walking in there, perhaps, hang back a bit, and that way, if something bad happens, at least we can get the drop on them.
Well, I don't know about that, Gaunter says. They closed that drawbridge for a reason. They had to saw us.
They know where we are.
Alright, so they know where we is, that's right. What I'm proposing is that a few of you walk in there.
Sounds good to me.
And start talking, and I hang back where there's no light.
You won't get any argument from me.
Walk in where?
To
the main hall?
the only place we've ever talked to them.
The only place we can go.
You're not going to find them there.
I'll be behind you 10 paces.
Well, then let's walk. And I'll start walking towards the Great Hall.
So last session, we determined that some things were lost when you were in flight, on the run from the villagers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you this opportunity now to spend a fate point to retrieve any one of your items.
Okay, I will do so. To return my mortuary sword.
Okay.
I intend very boldly to survive this night, and that fate point will be my my long life. I don't say in character because that wouldn't make any sense. I will discuss something.
I've got this here meta currency.
I will discuss something about the trappings of fate and destiny. This is not where I anticipated dying. I'm at peace with it, but I'm not going to go quietly.
Me lord, madam, either of you have any smelling salts? Mine broke.
I may have used mine up to revive the Baroness, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't
You have another to
one.
spare?
Yep.
Remember that that the Lord Winterborne had left an IOU for the good Dr. Greystone.
That may or may not get paid now.
As you rifled through his things and took away some laudanum and smelling salts.
Was he seen at the ritual?
Oh yeah, all of them were.
Yeah, and
Brother David,
Everyone.
everyone.
There's a whole lot.
One thing we noticed was there was no smoke in any of the chimneys, and it was quite cool, so you would expect a fire.
Yeah, they were all
And
there.
so it was pretty well told that the entire town had been abandoned for this
This
ritual.
is their blessing and your curse.
just don't forget, if you take a smelling salt, it's one corruption as well.
That's right.
Got it.
Did anyone spend a fate point to recover anything they lost?
He did.
May have lost.
I took my rotary sword.
Okay.
You need that.
So let's do a quick damage condition track assessment. Sir Harrison, where are you at?
I am at lightly wounded.
What about yourself?
Unharmed.
Cool. Madam Krista?
I was unharmed at the time that I had to leave for work. I don't know whether
Fitzroy?
we want to meta that out.
Unharmed.
Yeah, fortunately nobody was harmed. A lot of people were struck over the head and knocked out.
Yeah.
Madam Krista kind of witnessed the entire thing from the nearby bushes. And she saw Cole kind of stare down the 5 assailants, a woman, a young man, and 3 others of indeterminate age. There was a slaughter of Dendish at the hands of the bear, who Cole is convinced is the Dunman you met on the way
Oh,
here.
he thinks it's Otrig?
Otrig.
Yeah, I think that's what Wesley thought too, but he obviously didn't seem to be of his senses, really, to communicate, so we just left.
So with that, you begin to walk into deeper inside Winterborne Manor. You've been here perhaps but a week, but you know these confusing hallways like the back of your hand already. You emerge into the main chamber, the dinner chamber, I should say, with the long table. It is not set with anything to receive guests, but 2 burning braziers are fiery and hot in here, casting a generous amount of golden light all along the chamber. You can see the many vaults of longer hallways and doorways kind of extend outward, including the one that you know goes directly down into the basement to the burial chambers of the family Winterborne.
Hang back in the hallway.
Sure. You kind of lurk along the edges, behind a corner, listening, watching, waiting. The 3 of you, including Gaunter and Cole, kind of bravely step forward, expecting to see someone, but as Madame Krista said, you will not find them here, and no one is here to be seen.
Walk in, kind of thinking where Madame Krista thinks they might be, but I'll ask her anyway. So where are they?
There's a piece of this house that only gets used once in a generation, right? One that they lock away because it's too horrible to face. Where do you think they are?
Down below.
I think they're in the West Wing.
No, the West Wing. Well, I'm gonna check to see if the crypt has been opened.
The door
Is it still-
is slightly ajar.
I'll remember shutting that.
I remember you doing so and doing a good job covering it up.
They buried your great aunt. You will find her in the empty crypt below.
So down or to the west wing?
Down doesn't
They just got
lead that
here.
far other than behind. It goes to the end of the spiral staircase, and that's where the sepulchres are, correct?
That is correct.
If you wish to see, we can go down.
I think let's go to the rooms. My family is there, and you think they're there, then we'll go there.
To the rooms?
Well, we thought we had to go through the rooms to get to the west wing, right?
Everybody roll an eavesdrop test. This test is routine.
52.
55.
I have a 62% chance of making it. I did not succeed.
Success.
For those who succeeded, your adrenaline's a little high right now. Perhaps it's because you're so kind of on edge and kind of listening and watching and waiting for something to happen. You think you hear this weeping sound. And it seems to be coming from beyond the door that leads down.
You hear that?
I think I do. That way it is then. When someone wants to stay up here, they can.
No, I don't think any of us should split up, honestly.
Well,
Remember, do not whisper.
Oh yeah.
Can't
Oh,
hear
yeah.
anything, guys.
Just assume that we're whispering, listeners.
If you're whispering, indicate that you're whispering, because when you
Yeah.
whisper around the table,
Of course.
it's almost inaudible
yeah,
on the recording.
We are whispering to each other as we speak. Like,
yeah.
yeah, let's descend.
All right, down we go then.
You press the door open and you begin to descend down the spiral stone staircase. You can hear your footfalls scraping up on flagstone. Cole stops and he takes his last pint of oil and fills his lamp with it, knowing that the lamp will only burn for excuse me, for another 6 hours. It does not, even though the fact that it casts perfect light about 5 yards out, because it's a spiral staircase, it's kind of hard to see anything beyond that. So you can see your shadows in front of you, kind of jagged, almost walking down the stairs in front of you, these silhouettes of people kind of preceding you. You head further down until it opens up into a large open chamber. And you can hear the soft weeping coming from a man. And the light begins to slowly illuminate this round chamber with these sepulchres, these old stone sepulchres that have been laying with the bodies of God knows who. But it's clearly the burial chambers of the Winterborne family. 9 of these, the dead have been interred to women in varying conditions of decay over the years. Some turned to bone. The most recent, still with its skin gray and mottled and thin and tight between the bones, buried from, according to Cole's estimates, perhaps 40, 50 years ago. But it is near the sepulchre that is most distant from you, the final sepulchre, the 10th sepulchre, in fact, that you see is open. The lid of the burial stone coffin is lying to its side, and you can see this man, who's without a doubt Hugo Downing, leaning upon the edge of it, and he's softly weeping.
I'll start walking towards him to the opposite side.
Sure. He does not appear to have noticed you because the light has not yet reached him. He's kind of casting fleeting shadows. Cole looks to you. If it's a drop on him, what are we going to do?
And I'll look to Sir Harrison because he's the more military man of us.
Should I
Or I'll
kill
look
the
at
light?
I'll look towards Madame Krista, who's been right all along.
There are no burning candles or lamps down here at all. Only yours. It's the only source of light.
Whispering to the others, I will say, if we kill him where we stand, then we have no chance of getting out of here tonight. A blade cannot solve these problems. I think he holds the answers.
Then we shall ask.
We will turn this into a social intrigue event. This is a perfect time to switch to that. So, no, I'm assuming that all of you will participate in this event.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, so we're going to do Sir Harrison. We're going to do Lord Winterborne. We're going to do Madame Krista, and we're going to do Tuck Fitzroy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first off, well, we'll get some of the stat stuff out of the way. So, Sir Harrison, what's your social class?
My social class is Aristocrat. Excuse me.
And are you Order or Chaos aligned?
I am Order aligned.
Okay. Lord Wesley?
Same thing. Aristocrat and order.
Okay. How about yourself, Madam Krista?
Oh, I am a burger,
Okay.
and I am order aligned.
Okay. And finally, Tuck Fitzroy?
I am lowborn and chaos aligned.
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay. So, in a social intrigue event, we first interrupt the flow to discuss what is to be gained in this exchange. What do you hope to get out of this exchange with Hugo Downing?
How to get out of the keep.
Okay.
I think, yeah, Wesley's kind of fed up with the charade at this point. He's going to go really hard on the imitation.
So you're looking for a confession?
We're looking for answers, and if he doesn't give it to us, then
An answer and a confession?
Right. So wait. Right,
Don't talk
Right,
about
right.
strategy. Just tell her what
It's
what are you looking for?
What are we looking to achieve out of this?
yeah,
That's right.
I'm looking for a confession, looking for answers. Like, obviously everyone's in on this, and he can't not know. Like, you can't play dumb anymore, right? So I'm looking for him to say how it is, you know. And if he doesn't, then
Do we do this as everybody have their own goal, or do we
This
like
is
work?
It
kind
could be
together?
own goals. It could be group goals.
Do you have
He's
anything?
right on. I
Do you
mean-
have anything in particular that your specific character wants out of this?
The mystery of Dunhallow.
Well, I mean everybody wants that. Like that's
I know.
kind of what he's mentioned. That's
Right.
kind of an
Yeah.
overarching thing. But like
Yeah.
Madam Krista in particular, does she want anything?
No, I want exactly what Wesley wants. in
I
this
agree.
case. I want the answers.
I
I
want,
agree.
why was I called back?
Mm-hmm.
If you were just going to take this place from me,
In
Then why you call me
answer, yeah, that's some of these questions like why are all the villagers in on this? Why were you called here? How do you fit into the curse?
Yeah.
Closure.
Yeah, that seems like the right one. This seems like the penultimate encounter, frankly.
Anything?
Tuck specifically is mainly caring about 6 people. That's all he cares about. Well, your family included, so 9 people.
Oh, thanks, man.
Hmm?
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So he really just wants us to get out alive or stay alive. That's his primary motivation. He wants to know the mystery and all that. He wants to figure it out because he's curious, but he doesn't want anyone to die. He wants to avoid a fight if possible, but isn't it?
Go ahead. You don't have anything to add in particular?
No.
Okay. Good. Agreed.
What is at stake? What could potentially be lost?
Our lives. Access to the answers.
Mm-hmm.
they're getting murdered. This fool, or getting murdered. By
I mean,
him.
presumably,
Yeah.
not only that, but presumably he has the family hostage, including Ernst.
I mean, there's the long shot that he's just a patsy in all this, but I don't think that's possible. at
We
this point.
think we're past that point.
Yeah,
We want
yeah.
answers.
I'm not
or
even
This is
gonna
over.
entertain that idea at this point.
What else is at stake?
I mean, we would just be trapped down here potentially. They could just shut the door, seal it up, and we're dead.
You're buried in your own crypt.
Right.
Yeah,
We could
I
lose
mean-
the trust of the only person left who is displaying any kind of human emotion. The rest of it is all white darkness.
Maud Linkhouse is
I
still
know
large.
that's crazy, but
It's a good call out.
it's the only human thing left.
All right. Anything else you feel is at risk?
Our innocence.
We lost that already.
Oh, that's true.
Leave it on a second.
No, thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, so the question is, what skill will you lean on for your social tactic? Meaning, throughout this engagement, it's going to return to role play, but what do you feel, in your case, Sir Harrison, is going to be the guiding social tactic that you'll use?
Intimidation.
Okay. Intimidate. What about yourself, Wesley?
I was thinking intimidation.
I thought you said interrogation.
No, what did I say? Interrogation?
You did.
Okay, then I'll do interrogation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Madam Krista, what skill will you lean on in this interaction?
Guile.
Guile. And Tuck?
He as well is going to be relying on guile. Particularly, he's going to try and come at it from an approach of, like, I don't know any better, and he wants to appear innocent.
Okay, that's good. I like that. So, what I would like for you to do, Sir Harrison, you said that you are order aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it just so happens that he's order aligned as well. So, you are of the same social class too.
Right.
So, I would like for you to roll an easy intimidate test.
Okay. Okay, so my intimidate is a 48. Turns to easy, so that's 68% chance to succeed. And I rolled a 19.
Okay.
I would like to keep that score.
I assume so. Interrogation is unfortunately an unfavorable skill. So your test too will be easy, but you must flip to fail.
Okay. I have a 60 interrogation with a plus 20, so that'd be 80. Flip to fail. That is an 86, so I would make it an 80. Yeah, so I would fail, but I want to re-roll.
Okay.
I want this man to answer my questions.
Answer me! Swear to me! Love it.
Alright, so 80. And that's a 76, because it's 67 and 76.
Nice!
So I succeed.
Nice. Well done.
Love it.
Okay. Madam Krista, you rely on guile. Your test will be routine.
All right. I will lie to him and attempt to curry my favor by telling stories that are untrue and trying to offer false sympathies. Basically, I will good cop to his bad cop and try to take advantage of his weakened emotional state.
You'll do basically treat him the same way you treated Lord Wesley in the beginning.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Until he became a beloved friend.
So it's an 82% chance. I rolled a 24.
Nice. Okay. And Tuck,
Yeah.
because you are chaos aligned, it's actually going to be hard for you.
Hard. Well, what's also awesome about Tuck is he is not very good at being all fellowshipy. So with a hard, it's going to be a 25% chance. And a 36 will not do it, and I don't want to use it.
Okay.
The odds aren't great.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
Okay. With that in mind, you begin to approach Hugo Downing. He looks up from the sepulcher, and you can see tears coming. He's wiping away tears. His eyes are red and bloodshot. He's clearly distraught. His hair is a mess. His clothes are a bit disheveled. He looks toward you, kind of trying to collect himself. Lord Wesley, he says. He's kind of a sense of almost a twinge of guilt. You can see his cheeks are slightly red, as if he's embarrassed, and he's looking down at his feet.
Master Downing, I'm glad to see that my aunt has found her resting place.
In a manner of speaking, he says. His eyes kind of look upward.
I'll recoil at his commentary.
Since we have last met, a great many things have happened, as I am sure you know.
He lowers his head once again, stifling a snort as he's trying to clean his nose free of snoot.
I would very much like clarification. I'd very much like answers. I would like to know why I was called and what my part is in this. You asked me what my intentions were, and now I ask you, were your intentions?
He stands up and he takes his kerchief from his vest pocket and blows his nose and places it back in. Madam Krista, you were blessed with this. You were blessed with a strange sight for such things. Make an awareness test. This test is hard.
Hard. All right. This is gonna be.
It's vision based.
Yeah, not my best. I'm actually much better with smell, but I have a 22% chance. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, no, didn't get it.
The lights must be playing tricks on your eyes. This whole room is strangely lit with the lamp. His shadow kind of dances along the ceiling, as do yours. My lord, I feel absolutely terrible, he says. I have deceived all of you.
Tuck says if...
Use the calculon gasp.
Yes.
Well then, confess so that you may be forgiven.
He crosses himself. My lord, he takes 2 steps forward.
I take a step in front of Lord Wesley.
Okay. You place your hand up on the ground, hilt of your sword.
Yeah.
As you do so, he seems to be... He doesn't take any further steps forward. He stops in place and in deference kind of lowers his hands and folds them over one another and lowers his head. You can see his chest kind of... You can clearly tell kind of that he is incredibly nervous at this point. My lord Wesley, I am so sorry. It should not have come this far. It shouldn't have happened this way, he says. I feel absolutely terrible. I have deceived you and all of you, and you are not the first of those I have deceived over the years, even decades, he says, kind of stifling as his throat he gets a knot in his throat.
Whatever could you mean?
My lord, you are not the first to come.
Well, I know my father did not come, so who?
Others before you. Others of the family. Others we'd tricked into believing there was an inheritance to be had. A long-lost relative of the Agravars, Winterborns, Lachlan's, Dufresne, others. Many others over the years. My lord, I confess to you, though you are not my priest, that I am a part of this heinous conspiracy, he says. He kind of drops to his knees, and he is kind of sobbing uncontrollably.
So for decades, you have drawn people in here. Although I am confused, as I've always believed myself to be a Winterborne, like my father before me. Is this book and his tales lies? As I pull out the book of the family history.
The tales are true, yes, he says. And I am the one who has penned it over these many long years.
I had presumed that you had penned this book. Whether it was to deceive me or to tell the truth, that I was not sure. So now you mean to say it was all a lie?
Not all of it, he says.
Then
Not
what parts?
Everything. The Baroness has been ill, yes, and were it not for Madame Krista, she would have expired sooner. That would have only expedited my love's death, he says. I have enjoyed the few days I've had with Maud until it happened.
Until the ritual last night?
Until that witch died. The one who's ensorcelled me so. I have been doomed, trapped here for ages. Unable to leave. Spellbound by her promise of everlasting life. And here I am now, 200 long years later.
200 years?
I have been cursed, reborn with no flesh. As the sun sets, I too go to rest. When the sun rises, I can return, but I am doomed to this cycle.
So when the sun sets, there's another person that possesses you?
It is where I go to rest. Back into the Well of Souls. There's clearly confusion awash across all their faces, Madam Krista.
Kind of looking towards my spiritual advisor for any kind of explanation.
My lord, please soften your words of me towards this poor grieving man. For he has had to watch his love die, what is it, 10 times now? As I count the sepulchres behind him. She has brought you to this. You were a slave to this.
Admittedly, there was once love. But as time has passed, and these charades have turned to crime and murder, Lysandra, I have fallen out of love with her. It wasn't until young Maud Linkhouse came that I felt alive again. That I felt there was a way out. That I felt I could be human once more.
And this curse took it from you again and replaced it with the thing that you've experienced too many times.
Dashed against the rocks. She was supposed to be my way out. I thought through Maud that I could find love once again.
Can't she still be your way out? I mean, she's still alive, isn't she?
His eyes turn toward the sepulchre. No. He falls to his hands and knees, weeping uncontrollably.
She is reborn. I'll look over to Ceol Marcus Marius and see if his eyes will meet mine or not.
Oh yes, he nods in agreement. Without a doubt, the Baroness now lives in the body of Maud Linkhouse. And Maud Linkhouse, she now lies in the sepulchre, trapped in the Baroness's body.
This is how it goes. That was the piece, not that she would be. I'm so sorry. There's something I must tell you, though. It's very significant. I'm not who I portend to be, I'm afraid. I actually once was a powerful priestess myself. I knew what you would face. I've turned away from miracles or acts of faith, but I believe that I can release you from this. You just have to tell me how. Try to offer a comforting word.
He will believe you wholeheartedly, given that he is very gullible and malleable to such suggestion, as your guile test was very successful. It was actually a favorable skill, so the result of it was like the best on the on the track.
Tell me what ends this. Tell me how we can set you free. You must know the answer. All these years here spent thinking about it, night after night, and unlife. You know what binds you here. What is it?
The Mistress of Death. The bitch queen, Lysandra. Everything they've called her is true. She is a witch. And she has lived for ages and has trapped me here. I know that if I could find true love, that I could leave this place. I prayed on it for years. And I believe that Maud was my way to leave. Maud and I had been planning to go, but it was not to be.
Why not leave? You could have left at any point. You could have just said, "Oh, great, Lord Wesley, you're here now. We shall make our way out," and left.
That devil Olmsted.
Olmsted, the one who sent me the letter, who set all this in motion.
No.
He's dead now, you know.
His wife. He says with violence and venom in his words.
Is she a witch too?
She is her apprentice.
So she does not simply...
Olmsted's daughter-in-law or his wife?
Olmsted has a wife.
Okay.
The only red-haired woman in the...
Okay, because I thought I remember from the scene...
Amelia.
Amelia.
I'll
Okay.
look over at Gaunter, like, so she doesn't just clean pots in the middle of the night.
No sirree, Bob, he says. I knew something was a bit queer about her. I didn't expect this.
You said that love is the way that you escape this place?
Yes, but no more, he says. She's dead. And I am forever trapped.
And above board, you said it was Maud's body that was in there, or my aunt's body that was in the sepulchre?
He said Maud's.
You can see in the sepulchre it is the Baroness Winterborne's body.
Okay,
okay.
Baroness Winterborne.
So
Yes.
she moved into Maud's body.
Right,
She was
okay.
a transfer. That's I was okay.
Do you know of any way to exorcise her?
That is these are not holy thoughts.
So,
In this,
excuse me. So, you said love would be your way out. True love, almost as if someone else had told it to you. Is that true?
the Baroness had teased me 2 lifetimes ago. She told me, "You will never leave me. Only love could draw you away, and you love me endlessly. You will never know nothing but your ceaseless love for me."
You think that that's all it takes to break this curse for him? Is just to truly love someone, or is that just you think she was just saying stuff? As I kind of disregard him, and I'm addressing the rest of the group.
I don't know. I mean, I love my wife.
Well,
So
anybody could have told us that.
I mean, if you have fallen out of love with the Baroness, or whatever you want to call her, and you think you have fallen in love with this Maud, then perhaps the place of happiness is not in this life, but in the after.
I am trapped here. I cannot go. Every night, I am teased as I stand at the threshold of the well. I can see beyond. I can see my family. I can see those I knew so long ago, but the custodian will not let me pass. Maud was the key to that.
No. Your love was the key to it. You misunderstand her ancient riddles and snake tongue. We are your salvation. Your love has broken you away from her control, which is why you will tell us how we can kill her now. That is your salvation.
He stops and thinks for a moment, collecting himself, wiping away his phantom tears. Clearly, this man, this spirit, has been stuck here for a very long time. You can now tell by the manner of duress and remembering back to the portrait in the room of the same age of a man of the same clothes with a very young baroness that he has been here for ages, or for, in this case, 227 years.
Yeah.
And then some. His story probably is true. He probably did indeed serve the Baroness in his youth, serving as her barrister, but has been doomed to this existence.
It has been rotted away like this building. There's a metaphor for his life. Grandeur, fallen, lost passages. Meanwhile, Krista's actually extremely nervous inside because she's lied to so many people about so many things, and she's never tried to lie to demons and ghosts before. Is not feeling real. Is trying her best to hide the fact that she's dealing with a very dangerous gambit right now.
There is a sense of empathy, but there is certainly a sense of intense trepidation among all of you as the weight of this comes crashing down. You cannot help but sweat a bit over this. It takes him a few moments till he collects himself. Ethel Winterborne is the name that she went by after her first death, but her true name is Lysandra Agravar. That will give you power over her.
When
what's
we
her
speak,
angle?
she must answer.
What's her angle on this? Why does she stay? Why does she continue all these lifetimes? What's her goal?
Her own vanity. Who would not want to live 100 lifetimes, to see the world change and evolve before them? Her reasons at first were certainly spiritual. There was no evil in them, but as time went, her sense of humanity, as she took the lives of these women and those others who I have, he stops, pausing, who I have led into her trap. Her sense of humanity has slipped over these years, many, many lives. Now she was nothing but evil. There was no humanity left in her. It is her own avarice, her own vanity that has led her to this. And I see this, I have seen this with my own eyes for the past 2 lives, he says.
And what of you? Will you be able to live with yourself? With what you've done?
Sir Harrison, I'm afraid I have been cursed to not live. I do not know what salvation awaits me in the well. The custodian will not let me pass through the threshold, but perhaps, Madam Krista, you are right. I don't know. All I know now is that I am consumed with grief and despair over the death of Maud Leakhouse. I have never felt such pain before. You cannot imagine what it is like to live for so long and not know love, and then to find it for it to be taken away from you. You cannot imagine.
I wish I could help you, but I do not know how. If I felt Brother David could help, and if one's not part of this conspiracy, I would ask him to exorcise this demon. From Maud, perhaps give back the woman you love, but I know of no ways. If you know of no ways after your hundreds of years, then perhaps we are doomed this cycle, but perhaps is there a way to break the cycle? So that way this can finish. Perhaps you do find love in the future.
He shakes his head. If there is, I do not know.
We call her forth, and she answers. That is the way. That is the way we will send him to the Well of Souls, and that is the way we will save your family.
What were her plans with my family? Why call them?
Dindish and the Baroness, he says, had attended to seek insurance that you would come, that your children would be next. I fear that the people of Dunhallow had overheard your plans. Your presence in the village was made very apparent. Your whisperings in corners were heard. That is when the Baroness expedited the plan. That is when Dindish, I should say, expedited the plan. Dindish, too, serves the Baroness, but he is flesh and blood. And if you say that he is no more, then Steward take him to the bottom of the pit.
Well, a bear ate him, so hopefully that will give you any comfort that you seek. But why even call us back? If they do not need the blood of my family, if Maud is not the blood of Nagravar, then why even call me back?
I think Dave's looking at your children for next.
Sure, but if anyone would suffice, why even bother calling me?
Oh yeah.
You're the most tangible inheritor of the state. You're the only one who have been duty bound to come, to see to your great aunt's wellness, to see to your estates. They knew of your challenges with your wife and childbirth. They knew that you were a man of intense, deep duty and observance to the family. You were an easy mark.
I think he's asking about Maud, and I think that after hearing all this, Maud's your family.
No, apparently she was just an easy mark.
But I thought she needed...
That's what I'm saying. Apparently she doesn't. She could have just taken any of those women from the village. Apparently willing to be participants. Why not willing sacrifices?
She's taunting you.
Apparently. Where would she be now?
I think that you know where she is. She's in the place that has been forbidden.
She's here. She's in the manor. Who else would have shut the door?
She's in the West Wing. It's been forbidden.
She knows Winterborne Manor. She knows it. Like she knows the lines and the creases of her hand. The estate speaks to her.
Well, how do we get there? We continue on through where she was rocking?
No. He turns toward the first sepulchre. Behind there is a door. There is a sconce that rests there. Place a torch on the sconce and the door will open. That will take you deeper inside the bowels of Winterborne Estate. But beware. Her servant is there.
Which servant is that? The daughter?
Her grotesquerie. Ernst.
Ernst?
He wears the flesh of a man, but he is not that. Demons and spirits serve Lysandra Agravar.
Sometimes as coachman.
Do you happen to know his true name then? To give us power over him?
He shakes his head. Nay. Do not.
Well then.
I'm so sorry.
He shakes his head. I know I do not deserve your mercy or your forgiveness. know that I recognize my many crimes, and doubtlessly I will pay for them if in fact you are able to return me to the well. The custodian will judge me, but at least I know then what fate awaits me. He lowers his head. He falls silent. You can see now that in the light that is being banished by the shadows that he is an illusion. Something that is not physical and not there, like a mirage before your eyes. Through him you can see the sepulchre, and within it the body of the Baroness, where Maud Linkhouse was trapped inside, now lost to the well. This phantom is forever stuck here, unless you can do something about it. He thought it was the light of the lamp playing tricks on your eyes, but
Nope.
without a doubt, he is clearly not of this world.
Ooh, all right.
So, through that door then, as he starts to inch closer away from
Light it and prepare yourselves. For all of us will walk through, but maybe not all of us will walk back. Make your peace. As I start to set to load up the blunderbuss, taking my time.
Okay. You load and prepare the blunderbuss, lighting the fuse.
The power of the God of mercy be with us. She says, clearly not being very convincing, but
There's quivering in Madame Krista's words, very much unlike her.
well, I'll pray to the Mater for us.
thank you.
Preparing yourselves, you place a torch or something of similar weight inside the sconce, and right as rain, almost as if it was written in the books of fairy tales and penny dreadfuls, the door reveals itself sliding to the side, cleverly hidden inside the stone. Beyond is a yawning darkness, a long, gray hallway.
Like jumping into the lake. Do it quick.
As I will take my lantern and start walking in, lantern and then blunderbuss over shoulder.
Okay. What about yourself, Harrison?
I follow behind.
Yeah.
Kristen, Tuck, I assume?
Rapidly.
Bringing up the rear.
Just trying to take a deep breath and submerge.
My lord, Cole says.
Yes?
What if they are not down here? As Cole's often incredibly suspicious. What if they come in behind us? I gotta agree with Cole. What if they's upstairs?
We'll go upstairs, you can. Heck, at this point, I wouldn't even fault you for running, Cole.
I want somebody to get out of here to tell this tale. And if that's the two of you, then I'm okay with that.
Well, I'm not hightailing it out of here, my lord. I'm just saying, I don't trust what I'm seeing. I have to agree, my lord, Cole says.
Well,
We'll watch this way.
Well, if the worst comes to worst, run to the bastard king, tell him that, or, well, actually probably the other one, and tell them that Lysandra Agavar still lives. And if they truly want the bitch queen dead, to come and do the deed. Send any inquisitors or holy men that they wish to do so, and cleanse this place, perhaps.
Cole will give you a firm handshake, an arm lock, if you will. Gaunter pats you on the shoulder. We're gonna wait right here.
Martyr be with you, Cole. May the blessings of the faith.
I'm gonna give somebody the blessings of the faith against the edge of my sword if they come his way. He says very plainly. If we hear them, we'll let you know.
Alright.
Anyone else comes through that door, villager or not,
Nobody.
No questions.
I'm gonna fucking cut them down, Cole says. They showed their true stripes. Heretics, all of them.
Go get them.
And with that, Gaunter and Cole, you leave behind as you descend down into the tunnels below to head to the west wing. As you go deeper inside Winterborne Manor, you feel that this sense of descent, like you're going deeper, further and further down, and there's this intense sense of claustrophobia around you as the hackles on the back of your neck have lain down, but you can feel your adrenaline just pumping incredibly hard. You're kind of on edge, listening toward the distant hallways, the other alcoves, as you wander your way through the belly of Winterborne Manor. At some point or another, as you meander through the halls for an hour or two, you come to a single door. That door is slightly ajar, and through it, you can hear the whistling of wind, as you can see the stars beyond it. This must be the courtyard.
Hey,
You missed
you
it.
wanted that courtyard. After we'll think about that.
I did miss it. Shame he didn't come.
Well, he was true to his nature.
You want me to see if I can pick up a flower?
Sure.
I don't think any flowers will grow here.
The courtyard is overgrown with great vines that creep all along the walls, obscuring most of them, in fact, with great green walls of vines and thicket. The grasses are overgrown, but clearly have been walked through, trampled through, passed over. As you can see, they've been hewn and cut in places. There are flagstones to mark your path, but mostly they're covered beneath earth or grass or vines or weeds. You find it difficult to see through this, as some of them are grown almost kind of to waist or even shoulder or head height, for that matter. Anyone over here over 5'8"?
I'm pretty short. No.
I believe so.
I think Gaunter's the only tall one we had.
Nope,
No, I'm not actually. I'm short.
I'm 6'2".
I'm 7.
Oh, nice.
He's
Okay,
way tall.
you will be able to make a routine awareness test.
Routine plus 10 makes it a 55. That's a 54. Yay,
Nice.
routine.
Success.
Okay. You see something moving amid the weeds, moving back and forth. You stop the others, holding your hands out.
Is it
Shine
still
the light in that direction.
still the dark of night?
It is, yes.
As I'll make motion towards there with the lantern.
You hear this.
So that way we may not hopefully be surprised.
You hear this kind of whimpering sound, almost the sound of perhaps a woman or a child. Everyone may attempt a hard resolve test.
15 minus 20 is 30.
25.
31.
You know, I'm not really a priestess, right?
Yeah, I figured that.
You know that the only thing I do is lie, right?
Well, I don't know. If you just lied about that, and then you must be telling the truth sometimes.
Ooh, paradox, using gallows humor. Because of gallows humor, I actually succeeded.
No.
I
I did not succeed.
I do that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Without a doubt, in your mind, two of you, clearly this is the sound of a child or a woman whimpering. It could be your wife. It could be somebody else that they've taken. There's no telling who they could have who've imprisoned out here.
I will speak out the name of my wife and children, and then say, "Reveal yourself."
You hear this kind of almost muffled "help me," like somebody's mouth has been bound or they've been gagged, held inside the courtyard, perhaps in one of the outer kind of stone sheds or something like that out here.
So, with the lantern in one hand, blunderbuss over the other.
Okay.
Start moving there, towards there.
You find that the two of them are pressing forward toward the sound, but the two of you can draw them in.
Wait, no.
And before they are able to discern what has happened, some great shape comes shambling out of the grass, surprising the two of them.
Oh no!
Shit.
Okay, if you would, Nick, I'm going to have you record some initiative for me.
Okay.
Provide the battle.
You've been subjected to captivating cry. It is going to be a 14.
Creature.
That's it.
Okay.
Let's put creature. Before they recognize what's going on, Tuck, you see this gray-looking shape kind of perched along one of the low courtyard garden walls. And in the shadow of the night, you can see these kind of bristling gray feathers and this mottled gray skin, as Ernst would easily be indiscernible from the other stone gargoyles that rest along the walls that would, kind of be where all the water would come through and spin out their mouths. But this one here is clearly him, as he wears the face of a man, but his body is that of a beast. He's about 15 yards up on the wall. So,
Ernst?
45 feet?
No!
You must decide quick, though.
I'm gonna say he's up there, and I'll draw my hunting bow,
It's 1 AP.
then load it for another,
Okay, 2 AP.
and then I will shoot towards him.
Okay, it's 15 yards out.
Okay, that is exactly the distance I needed. Otherwise, it would have been medium distance. So, what's the difficulty?
It is going to be challenging because you have no light.
Okay, challenging, simple range to test. That will be a 49%.
Do it.
And a 64 will not succeed. Should I re-roll it, or should I let
It's
it
a
go?
half chance. I say do it.
Is it day or night?
It's night.
I thought we just came in the morning.
We'll go ahead and...
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. It is, in fact, it's about midday now,
Okay.
so it's actually, instead of challenging, it's standard.
You hit.
Make any change? Just out of curiosity.
59, I still would not have hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You miss it by 1 point.
Yeah, if it's midday, you're heading toward the west wing, so the light is in your eyes regardless. So yeah, it's challenging.
All right.
We'll keep it challenging. You reroll.
Yeah.
2 misfortune points at this point, listeners, with 3 fortune points remaining in the pool.
Yep. And a 19 will succeed.
Roll damage.
Okay.
Roll it quick.
2 plus 5 is 7. And
Okay. It is lightly wounded as the arrow wings.
Huh?
Hit.
I see what you did there.
All right, Madam Krista, it's your turn. You see Tuck kind of take quickly and fire an arrow, lobbing it toward Ernst, but your eyes must be deceiving you. This is not Ernst, but instead it is a creature of darkness.
It's a gargoyle. But what the... Do I see the two of them completely basically flat-footed?
Yes, completely. They're still kind of tiptoeing toward this kind of outbuilding within the garden, completely unawares of what's about to leap upon them.
I'm gonna go and try to shoulder check Wesley to the ground to see if I can snap him out of it.
Sure. Go ahead and you will move forward for 1 AP, and you will do a takedown. You need not roll any dice for this.
Okay.
Suddenly, you're taken off of your feet, and the blunderbuss drops to the ground. Roll a d6. If it's a face 6, it explodes. Or fires.
2.
2, okay. The gun drops as kind of a collective sound as you save Wesley from this thing that's about to leap upon you.
Sorry, Sir Harrison. I had to
And
make a
with
choice.
that, this great creature covered in these gray mottled feathers and kind of pinkish brown flesh, with wearing the face of a man, something indiscernible, save for the fact that it's something you didn't see before but clearly left down. This creature leaps upon Sir Harrison, surprised. as it has a 85% chance to strike. Roll a 91. I want to re-roll though with that misfortune point.
Hey, I'll take it.
Nice.
Okay, critical success 0-1. Oh no! So it's 1d6 normally,
R.I.P.
1d6 for surprise, 1d6 because it charged
All right.
from the air. Sir Harrison is caught completely unawares as you suffer
Forever.
8 plus 12, 16, 19 damage.
Okay.
These ragged claws take Sir Harrison, almost pinning him to the ground. This harpy-looking thing with these jagged claws presses into him and tears at his flesh.
Grievously wounded.
Grievously wounded? Oh shit. Roll 3d6 chaos dice.
You were already pretty hurt, I take it?
I was already lightly wounded.
Slightly wounded.
No sixes.
No injuries, that's good. Sir Harrison is taken to the ground. Sir Harrison quickly kind of shimmies his way out of these ragged claws of Ernst as you come back to your feet, somehow recovering. And now, Sir Harrison... Actually, no, I'm sorry, you get skipped. So, it's now the beginning of combat, starting with Tuck.
Okay.
You two were surprised. So Tuck, you loosen Aaron and you wing Ernst as he drops to the ground, tearing into Sir Harrison. Sir Harrison manages to squeeze away, still on foot, with his mortuary sword in hand. What will you do?
Being scared, he's completely in silence as he draws another arrow from his quiver and knocks it for an action point and tries to steady his aim as he doesn't quite realize what he's looking at, and fires.
You want to take aim?
Yeah, draw, take aim, fire.
Okay, your chance will be challenging.
Okay.
Normally it would be hard because you'll be firing into melee, but it's challenging because you're taking aim.
Okay. Challenging will be 49.
Roll damage.
And a 42 will succeed.
All right, roll damage.
Okay. I miscalculated last time. I forgot this was a fast weapon, so 3 plus 6 is 9.
Nice. Ooh. It is now moderately wounded. Roll d6 chaos die.
Okay. 2.
And Ernst is not injured. All right. You get the arrow. Whip! It strikes Ernst right in the chest, and you can see it sticking out of one of his these corded muscles that are covered in bristling feathers and fur. He is not born of wings by any means, but he's this amalgamation of something terrible out of a bad dream. Madam Krista, it's your turn. You're gonna come up on your feet.
You filthy rat with wings. Yes, I'll stand up.
Okay, it's 2 AP to get up.
Alright, I guess I probably can't attack then.
You draw a weapon to get ready?
Yeah. I will draw a weapon to get ready. I'll draw my cudgel out.
Okay. Loose it from your waist. Remember, you may always spend a fortune point for an additional action point if you wish.
I'd still have to move and then attack, so I wouldn't be enough to get me there.
Oh, you were close enough to strike it. At this point, you're all kind of within easy reach.
Let's do it. Let's take that. Let's use that fortune point.
Okay.
We gotta put this thing. We gotta put Ernst down quickly.
All right. Roll to strike. This is going to be a routine test.
You filthy rat with wings. I will shout at it as I roll to hit, and I hit a 16, which is a success.
Roll damage.
And it's 1d6 press the brawn, right? Or
is it pummeling?
It would be no, that'd be combat.
Okay, combat. Gotcha. Plus 5. All right, 11 points of damage. I rolled 6.
It is.
If you rolled a 6, you get to roll.
Oh yeah, I forgot I explode. Man, it's been a while since I fought.
Explosions.
6, 11 plus 5, 16 points of bludgeoning hammer damage as I try to smash this bird. Stone feathers.
And Madam Krista does so. Wham! Whack! As it staggers backward. Ernst rests against the wall, grievously wounded. Roll 3d6 chaos dice.
Come on. Find some bloody damage. No 6s.
Okay. Ernst is grievously wounded. Wesley Winterborne, you're lying prostrate on the ground. Fortunately, Madam Krista saved you from being leapt upon by this vicious creature. but unfortunately it begins to tear into Sir Harrison. He comes back to his feet very quickly, but even now Ernst is kind of beginning to retreat, has been struck by a couple arrows and bashed across the head. What will you do?
I will look to try to recover this. Is it within reach, or would I need to move to pick it up?
It's within reach, 1 AP.
So yeah, I will
Pick up the blunderbuss.
grab the blunderbuss. If I turn to look, pretty much all my friends are in front of there. If I shoot this thing,
Everyone's
they're all
in the
Yes,
engagement.
everyone is a little. You're gonna kill. You could probably kill everybody if you aimed it at the. Even if you took aim, the thing is too close, and your friends are too close too.
So instead, I will attempt to intimidate this thing as I point to the blunderbuss. Or I'll motion the blunderbuss towards Ernst and say, "Remember when you gave this to me all those times ago? I think I'm taking a liking to it. You better run while you can."
Okay. Go ahead and make a test. This
good.
test is going to be routine.
That's good.
Routine intimidate. That'd be 58. There's a 55 critical success.
Nice. You see this aged old man. His face kind of freezes in sheer terror, and he begins to beat his hands in the air as if somehow he'd be borne up on the wind and taken away. But he looks like nothing more than a man that has glued feathers to himself to look like some grotesquerie. His wings do not take him anywhere. This harpy does not retreat. He kind of staggers back a few, and you'll reduce his damage and peril thresholds by -3. All right, it's now going to be the creature's turn. Unable to flee and realizing that he is literally pinned against the wall, he howls like some dog, and he kind of takes a couple steps back and leaps out with both hands and legs through the air like almost like a cat toward you, Wesley. Oh, I'm sorry, not toward Wesley. My apologies. Actually, he's going to do it toward Madame Krista.
Okay.
Yeah, you intimidated him. I would assume that he's not going to go directly after you. He's going to try to go for the
taunted
weakness that he perceives, at least. Little does he know that Madame Krista is like the most dowdy. she's built like a gymnast.
Yeah.
All right, 82 will unfortunately miss.
Oh,
So Ernst makes his attack, and you manage to bat him away, Madame Krista, which leaves Sir Harrison. What will you do?
I don't have any witty one-liners, so I will just attack.
Okay.
I'll take aim, actually,
Okay.
and attack.
You see him raise the mortuary sword in both hands and just kind of hack down viciously. A calculated blow. It is routine.
All right, so my chance to succeed is 46, plus 10 is 56. And that is a miss.
Oh,
no.
I'll re-roll it.
Are we out?
One misfortune point remains.
Nick always takes the fortune points.
Yeah, yep. That's a 3. Success.
A vicious strike. Roll damage.
All right.
His damage threshold is reduced too, so you can do some
Yes.
So that's 2 plus 7 is 9 damage.
Add 3 on top of that.
12.
Okay. And a calculated strike from the flank. Sir Harrison kind of steps to the side, showing his military training, and makes a crescent strike. And suddenly, Ernst goes twisting around and just falls to the ground lifeless. As you see blood kind of seeping into the soil, he has been dispatched. Sir Harrison is breathing hard. He is grievously wounded.
Oh
Pick
god.
myself up off the
Oh
ground.
god.
Kind of keeping my eye out and checking out all the other statues.
You look toward them. Perhaps he was stalking you the entire time along the walls. It could have been him who would close the doors.
Likely.
How he got up there, God knows.
Wasn't
This-
easy.
It wasn't easy, that's right. Picture of old China. But without a doubt, this monstrosity, he is no man, but something else. You could have sworn that you heard the sound of you both could have sworn you heard the sound of Wesley's wife of a child, but it's clearly coming from him.
They'll breathe heavily, like.
You're right, Harrison.
Hanging on by a thread. I'll make it, I think.
Here, it's the only one I got left. And I'll hand you the laudanum.
Okay.
Don't forget to take that.
You take the dose of laudanum, and you feel things come into focus as you are filled with an opium high. You go up one step on the damage condition track, so you're not seriously wounded.
Yes.
Nice.
Anyone here know anything about passionate blood?
No.
No? Well, but I happen to believe it's me manifest destiny to give it a shot. Would you mind if I took a look?
No, sir.
Anyone have any bandages?
Nope, didn't think to take those. Just the good stuff.
Oh, well, this I have to do. He rips the little clothing off of his clothing. A little cloth off of his clothing.
So in this case, when you construct kind of makeshift bandages, they're called quote chaos bandages.
Yeah.
So even though even if he is able to heal successfully, he rolls a d6 chaos die, and if it's a 6, the wounds are infected.
Ooh.
Well,
attempt to mend.
Yeah, I will attempt to mend them up.
Okay, it's challenging.
It's challenging. Well, it's a 31% chance. However, because I have manifest destiny, it's 36%. Bad thing is I'm not trained in it, so it's flipped to fail.
Ugh.
All right.
You didn't need that brawn bonus, did you?
92 won't do it.
Well, at least it wasn't critical.
Yeah, and so it was worth a shot.
You at least bandage the bleeding wound.
Alright.
That D6 roll?
Yep.
3.
No infection, which is good.
Good. Only I can be infected. My lord's right.
There you go. See, righteous reign.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Blood stop flowing. I think I'll be okay for now.
Tricks and deception will be the tools of our enemy. Keep a good eye out like you did before.
Oh, speaking of that, are any of the arrows recoverable?
No.
Okay.
They are broken.
So you have the 2 ironwood ones remaining.
And one regular.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay.
As I have an appreciation for the dramatic irony, be sure to save one of those for that bitch's heart.
So now that we have entered the courtyard, we're going to pause and take a quick break. So we'll be right back, listeners.
After these messages.
I was just thinking that.
Station identification.